Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I'm going to be taking a look at a Slowking rogue deck that was suggested by a commenter. So Slowking is 120 HP Psychic type Stage 1 Pokemon that has the attack Seek Inspiration, which for a Psychic colorless says discard the top card of your deck, and if that card is a Pokemon that doesn't have a Roblox, choose one of its attacks and use it as this attack, which is a very powerful attack itself, because it lets you copy a lot of other powerful attacks, such as Conkeldurr, which can just do a flat 250, which is fantastic against some decks. Also got Regigigas, which allow you to one-shot any Terra Pokemon, such as Charizard, which is quite nice. And the big one, which is Kyurem. And Kyurem has the attack Trifrost, which you can copy for just a Psychic colorless, which is great. Allows you to, well, you have to discard all energy from Kyurem, which kind of sucks, but you do 110 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon, which is obviously a very devastating spread move right now in the game. Now, the way that we can actually guarantee any of these attackers on top of our deck is, well, two ways basically. We have Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking, which says search your deck for 2 cards and put them on top of your deck. So we run 2 copies of Ciphermaniac. And we also play 4 copies of Academy at Night, which says once you're in each player's turn, that player may put a card from their hand on top of their deck. Now, for such a simple combo, you would think this would be very, very easy to do, very, very consistent, and you'd be able to attack every single turn. You would think, right? But I think one of the reasons why Slowking just isn't really a top tier deck, and it hasn't really broken out of rogue tier really, is it just can be a bit inconsistent and it can clunk up a bit. And I think that's just what's holding it back, really. Like, there's just been a few games, right, where, you know, everything seems to be going well, especially in the earlier turns, but the deck just runs out of steam, and late game, your opponent pops down an Iono, and then you're just stuffed over, basically. Like, I'd be very tempted, I know this is a list that I copied from somewhere else, but I'd be very tempted to actually remove a Squawkabilly, and maybe swap it in for something like a Pheasantipity, just to give this deck a bit better draw power in the mid to late game. Because you have things like Tatsugiri, which is great because you can find supporters from the top 6 cards of your deck and then free retreat it with Latias. So you don't actually need to play things like the board that lets you, retreat Tatsugiri normally. So that's fantastic. It also means you can just promote any basic when you need to, because the way you're charging up energy as well is with Xatu. And Xatu allow you to charge up a psychic energy and then draw 2, which is fantastic. And then, you've got Budew as a bit of extra support. But to add to some of that synergy, actually, we can talk about Jet Energy, which basically just, when you attach this to one of your bench Pokemon, you can switch it. So you just want to attach this to a Slowking after you use Xatu, and then you'll be able to essentially power up a Slowking one turn and also promote a basic that you can then free retreat. So that's kind of like the deck combo in a nutshell. The rest of the deck is fairly self-explanatory. Like, I thought Hassel was quite an interesting card. Not a card that I've actually had to use very much. It is a bit of a hassle to use in of itself, no pun intended. But, could be quite good. I also decided to add, because I actually had 1 spare slot from copying the list. I had 1 spare slot left over. I didn't have room for... Well, no, actually. Let me start again. Basically, this list was one of the City League lists from Japan. But they have access to Shaman now, which would give you bench protection against other spread attackers. But because we don't have Shaman, I had to make room for 1 extra card. So I added in a Colress's Tenacity, which allow you to search your deck for a Stadium card and an Energy card, because it can be quite frustrating in this deck when you get a Slowking all set up and you have a Kyurem in hand or something, and then you just don't have a Stadium. Like, you've prized one, your opponent's discarded one or something, you've had to discard one early game with Squawkabilly. It can be quite annoying in that sense. So I do think Colress's Tenacity is quite nice. If we ever get an item, by the way, that can find Stadiums, I would definitely like to revisit Slowking in the future. I think it could be really good. But as it stands right now, yeah, it just kind of sucks a bit that we don't have better ways of finding Stadiums more consistently. Like, if Tatsugiri could find a Stadium or support, that'd be really cool as well. But yeah, sadly, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, let me know what you think about Slowking down below. Have you had much success with it? And yeah, thank you for watching. And then Seek Inspiration. And then, yep, Trifrost. We do discard all energy, which is, kind of a problem, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we will remove this, and also remove this. So yeah, we take 3 prize cards here. Hopefully they are good ones. I feel like we've already lost a lot of jet energy though, which could be annoying here. We do get an energy there, which is good. Yeah, we've lost 2 jet energy. So what I'm probably going to have to do here is Codebreaker for a jet energy and something else that we want. Probably like a Kyurem. Yeah, because then if we Codebreaker for jet, oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, it was a little bit too good to be true, wasn't it? Okay, I don't know. Fair enough. Yeah, not a lot here. Probably just another Iono, to be honest. Yeah, because I was gonna say we probably could just won by doing that, but I'll draw another card. So Lana's Aid. Can Lana's Aid help us? It might do actually. Yeah, I think we're kind of in a good spot anyway, so we'll do a slower approach. We'll take Kyurem, an energy. Probably another energy actually. Send all Xatu on a bench Slowking. Then draw 2. Nothing super useful just yet. Can't always attach here though. Yeah, I think I'll just attach here. It seems like a wise move. And then I don't think there's... Yeah, I don't think there's too much of a point in playing anything else or doing anything else. So I'll just end turn. There's maybe the argument to use Academy at Night to put Kyurem on top of the deck, but I think we're going to be okay here. Like, Rabska would be really annoying. Okay, so there's Diplin. About time, but you know, better late than ever. Another Lacey, so they will get 8 cards off this. Well, there's an Ogapon. I mean, we can still very much win if he benches another single prize Pokemon. Like, just another fragile basic. And we can still one-shot this with Gigas. So, actually, is Gigas still in the discard pile? I forgot about that, actually. I think Gigas might be. Yeah, Gigas is. We don't actually get anything useful, though. Like, we have the Kyurem, we just don't have an energy. Ultra Ball? Sure. Suppose I could Iono again this turn, but feels kind of bad. Let's get another Slowking out. I suppose we have Conkeldurr as well, actually. Although we do have, like, a lot of useful things in deck still. So I'll evolve here. Go ahead and use Iono. Although maybe I should have put Kyurem on top of the deck before doing that. It's not too bad, actually. So Clairvoyant Sense. Energy on Slowking. Draw 2. And yes. So we can do it this turn with Ultra Ball. Question is, do I actually want to do that though? You know what, I'm just going to do one like this. Because I don't really want to discard anything from hand. Yeah, Super Cyborg, why not? That was actually quite lucky, by the way, actually finding one of them, but doesn't make too much of a big difference with Wacky here. But yeah, the reason why I didn't want to push for it is for precisely this reason. Although here's Hydrapple, so now we can't actually... Okay, so yeah. So I think it was probably correct then to just take the advantage and KO them. So I assume this was like a Festival Lead Diplin deck without Hydrapple EX, because you don't always see that, but this looks a lot more like an actual Hydrapple build. So yeah, I probably should have just done it last turn anyway. That was silly. Okay. Although, because he benched that, I can just win, I think. Yeah, I think I just win. So I bench Natu here, and I should be able to get it off this. I think if he hadn't benched Diplin, he would have been in a great spot, but... I don't have anything, actually. I suppose I may as well KO this, right? I may as well. So I'll get Super Cyborg. I mean, we could like do a Hail Mary and maybe discard a thingy, but I don't think it's worth it, really. But yeah, if we had a Kyurem this turn, we definitely would have got it, so that's something else to bear in mind, I guess. So yeah, one prize card here. You could Rare Candy and get out of there, but at the same time, we also have Night Stretcher for Gigas, so it's entirely possible we just win next turn using that combo as well. I'm not sure how many Ionos my opponent will have left either. So again, Nest Ball, nice. And I just want to see quickly what they've got in the way of trainers. I mean, they could have more Iono. So there's a Legacy Energy, so we wouldn't win if we KO'd Hydrapple, actually. But currently, we can just use Codebreaker to get Kyurem, so... Really? Really? I'm gonna do this? Colress. That's not what I wanted to see. Really? Really? Oh, this game hurts. This game just hurts. Because now, like, why did he have to find Legacy Energy? That just sucks. That actually just sucks. I mean, we can one-shot this, but we'll still only take one prize. I think we can one-shot it. I mean, I hope we can, but yeah, that Legacy Energy is really annoying, actually. So it would have been so much easier to win this turn. In fact, you got another Rare Candy as well. Definitely not what I needed. Clairvoyant Senses. Put an energy on Slowking. Draw 2. I research away. I have to make sure we don't deck out as well. That could be a problem. I mean, we got stuff, which is good. trying to think what to do here, actually. Yeah, I think we just put Kyurem on top. Because we can't actually KO Hydrapple, actually, with Gigas, because Gigas will only work against Thingamawhat's-it. It'll only work against Terra types. So we'll use Kyurem here. Try Frost. So yeah, no Gust in this deck is also really annoying. So we'll do 110 here because we still need to Conkeldurr them. 110 there for sure, and then 110 there may as well. So if we can just not get Iono'd next turn, then we can win. I'm fairly sure, at least. Yes, we should be able to win, because we have Jet Energy, we have Max Rod, we have Conkeldurr to 250 this thing. So that should be that. Or we could just try Frost one of these things, but it doesn't really make a difference. Right, please do not have another Iono. Okay, there's a Festival Grounds, that is annoying. So now we can't necessarily do it. There is a boss. That's also really annoying. Natu. Yeah, I feel like we have to Natu. And then what is the question? Because we don't have an academy. Although we don't have an academy yet. That's what we have to look at this as. Yeah, we have to look at this from the perspective that we don't have an academy yet. So I still think we can win this turn. So yeah, I'll Max Rod. Because we have to Codebreaker for the Max Rod. Or Codebreaker for the academy, rather. So yeah, we use the A-Spec. Game's really lagging. Get Kyurem. I don't think it matters what we grab here, actually, but I'll just grab these guys. Let's grab a bunch of energy. And then I will Codebreaker. Now, if there's one Academy at Light left in deck, then we win. So please just be in deck. Pretty please. Game is really collapsing. Doesn't want to play a long game. Okay, there we go. Thank goodness. So that was nearly a painful game, and a painful loss at that, but... Okay, game is really not liking it now. Xatu. Energy on Slowking. Then we draw 2. And then we put the Academy in play. Game's probably going to crash before I can win the game, though. I meant that as a joke. Don't actually crash. Okay, thank goodness. Academy at Night. Jet Energy. It's painful. Jet Energy on Slowking. I'm not going to be satisfied until I've taken my last prize card. Jet Energy work, please. Thank you. Academy at Night. Conkeldurr. Doesn't matter which option, but I'll pick Conkeldurr. Yep, put that on top of the deck, please. Seek Inspiration. And yes, I would like to pick Conkeldurr. I don't know why it makes you choose when they only have, like... Oh, I suppose Conkeldurr has 2 attacks, but... Right, Gutsy Swing. 250. Finally end this game. Alright, thank you for watching. Oh. No, okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It was worth 2 prizes. Psyched myself out there for a second.